good day. It's still the 29th of July, 2021. This one's going to be questions and answers. Common questions that I got and people have sent to me, so try to wrap it up in a short answer session. Number one, the Marshal Service. Are they hiring? Okay. The answer is yes and no. Good answer, right? It's not on usajobs.gov. I do check that every day. It's not there, but they have what's called Schedule B hiring authority, which means they can hire a limited number of people. Now, how in the world do you go about getting consideration under this? What you would have to do is contact the Marshals recruiter. Each one has like a little recruiter for each district, probably by email, and tell them that you're interested in attending an orientation session for Schedule B hiring. And then they will send you a email list of instructions after you go to this session, and you at that point upload your resume and all that sort of thing, and from that point onward you would go to the selection process. So my advice to you, if you're interested in getting into the Marshal Service, you're going to have to do it through Schedule B hiring, which is by contacting the recruiter directly rather than waiting for an all-out advertisement to come out on usajobs.gov. Secondly, if I do get hired by the Marshal Service, where will I work? Well, initially you're going to work in the courthouse. Okay. Can you be assigned to the task force and stay there? Yeah, you can, but it's not really up to you. Okay, whenever you work for somebody, they assign you pretty much where they want you to work. But you know, if you're a non-supervisory person, you're doing a good job on the task force, there's no reason to move you. Okay. Now, if you want to get promoted, that's a totally different thing. Okay, so that hopefully it clears up a little bit with regards to the Marshals. The second question, Customs and Border Protection versus the Border Patrol. Which one should I go to? CBP does accept vacancies, a limited number, at the beginning of the month. They're not on usajobs.gov. You have to go to their website. The U.S. Border Patrol, on the other hand, is hiring a lot of people. So you have a much better chance of getting hired, obviously, with the Border Patrol than you do with CBP. Now, what are some of the benefits and disadvantages? Well, if you want action, basically, if you like to be outdoors, if you like to be arresting people, if you like, not sitting in an office or sitting behind a desk or sitting in an airport, I think the Border Patrol is the job for you. Okay. On the other hand, if you don't want to work necessarily the southwest border, if you want to work an airport or a seaport or the southwest border or the Canadian border, then CBP might be the job for you, but you're not going to make anywhere near as many arrests and not as much enforcement work. CBP is probably much more sought after than the Border Patrol, so you can have more competition. And it's really up to you. But again, remember, if you're applying for CBP, it's kind of like applying to the Marshals. You're going to have a lot more competition, so your resume and everything is going to have to stand out much more than it would be for something where they have a lot of vacancies. Number three, the DEA, the ATF, other federal agencies. Okay, if there is a vacancy announcement currently outstanding, there's two ways to qualify. Number one, education in lieu of experience. And I've put that out previously. If you have a bachelor's degree with a high GPA and you want to join the DEA or the ATF or one of these criminal investigative agencies that enter on as a GS-7 or above, that will qualify you. Now, if you do not have a high GPA or you don't even have a bachelor's degree, well, number one, your chances of getting hired as a criminal investigator, and I don't agree with this, I'm just reporting the news. I think it's wrong, but your chances are not that good. But if you do want to apply, go ahead and apply, but you have to show then that you meet the core competencies, the list of the requirements of the job, and show how your work, you have done the work that is being sought. So in other words, you've done criminal investigative work, You've written complicated reports. You've dealt with collecting evidence, interviewing and interrogating suspects, and so on and so forth. Now, again, the way to get around this is to have a college degree with a high GPA. Okay. The last thing, the polygraph exam. I'm not going to get into it in any great detail. A number of you have written me and have not passed your polygraph. This could be, I don't like giving having an agency give polygraphs to people. I wish they didn't do it, but they do. But having said that, neither my opinion nor your opinion is going to count. So all I can tell you to do is to be truthful on these and hope that they pass you. Okay. The ATF has a very interesting comment on their website. Don't try to research the polygraph or look at ways to beat it, because if they think that you're doing that, they're going to disqualify you. Now, how has this changed over the years? Years ago, unless you fessed up to lying to them, you passed. Now, if they think you're lying or trying to use countermeasures, you're going to fail. Okay? Now, who makes that determination? The polygrapher. Okay? Now, what are they looking for? What is these? The biggest area that I've heard is people are been accused of withholding information. I think a polygraph is most useful when you are, investigating a very specific thing. Did you take that $500 from that drawer on such and such a night? Yes or no? Okay. When they start saying, "Are you withholding information?" Who doesn't withhold information? I mean, unless you're, God looking at somebody's entire life. Yeah, there's certain things that I haven't told you about myself because you haven't asked. I mean, it's just a really ridiculous line of questioning, and I think a lot of the polygraphers are overworked right now. I think a lot of them, and I don't think that the field is an exact science by any stretch of the imagination. Having said that, there's nothing I can tell you to do but tell the truth. Okay. Now, again, if you don't get hired by one agency, you just go to another agency and keep trying. And that is really the best advice that I can give you. So my next one is going to be on how to write a resume for a Schedule B hiring, such as the U.S. Marshals Service. So that will be the next one. How to put together your resume, where there is no usajobs.gov. They're not going to be looking at it with a automated program at the Office of Personnel Management, where you want your resume to stand out so that you get picked for the interviews and the processing. So that'll be my next video. So hopefully it's been a little bit informative. It's easier than writing out a lot of responses. And stay motivated, stay in shape, and stay focused on your goal. And here's my picture, of me getting my credentials. I found it in the garage from Administrator John Lawn in 1986. So that was a big day in my life, I was happy to get the hell off of that base and out of that academy and graduate. I was never happier to get something than I was to get those. And I had been through a lot of things, but that was the last time I'm going through a police academy, and I mean it. So that's your goal, and you are going to get there. If I got there, you can get there. Okay? So have a good day. Please continue to send me whatever, your resume or whatever, and I will take a look at it as I'm able. It might take a day or two, so don't get real impatient with me. I'm getting there. I'm an old man. Okay? And if you have any questions, if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. Okay? Have a good day.